Evening, folks. Welcome back to the channel. And smash that like button right meow. Just getting the screens set up on my end. Oh, don't glitch out on me. Don't give me a hard time. Come on now. In the description, you can still vote for the style of merch you would like to see me carry eventually. It's a little bit more in favor of the right option, but there have been a couple of folks that said both. And we'll see what it's like here at the end of the show, just to see which one is more popular. I'm so excited about those shirts. I cannot wait to wear one. I can see it in my head. I could get like a light gray one. That way all of the black, smoky, gray smoke or hair or whatever it is pops up in the background. So I'm excited about that. It's been almost 2 weeks since I've gotten that from Shane B. And you guys can still vote on it. I did get a super chat, and I've got super chats opened up. Link in the description. It's Venmo or buy me a coffee. 100% of that goes to myself. You're helping me out with the move. It doesn't go to AI content or hookers and blow. 30% does not go to Google. Your money stays in the United States. And I read your comments at my next show. So this came in between shows. But this was from Dandy. He said, thanks for making me laugh and an enjoyable time. So thank you for that. Oh yeah, good times last time. I did not think I did very well at my last show. Felt bad about it, and then I watched it back, and it was actually really good. So I guess my opinion doesn't matter. It was cool to talk about. A lot's happening in the show right now with the introduction of Barnabas Collins, and everybody seems to have an opinion about him one way or the other. They either like that he's around or are acting differently for some reason. But let me go to the recap. I think I remember it, but just in case I don't. Okay, this might make some noise. There we go. Okay, yeah, to recap my last show. So Barnabas met his family. He's gotten to meet everyone at Collinwood, including Victoria. And he knows absolutely everything about the old house. Like every stick of wood, every square of floor. He knows where the material came from and who worked on it for absolutely everything. He didn't mention it, but I'm sure he knows that the glass blower who put in the windows. Oh, what's up, Lisa Craig? Glad you made it. I said good afternoon. I know, right? It's afternoon adjacent. It's well, here at 7 p.m., but yours is right in the middle of the afternoon. That's a trip. So Barnabas is nice and charming and knows everything about the architecture and about the Collins family going back over 100 years. And then Willie finally showed back up. For a while, I was thinking maybe he was dead because we saw him opening up a casket, and then everybody is just asking, "Where's Willie?" And we didn't know. So, and it had been a few days. That yeah, maybe he died, but he's not dead. He looks like he wishes he was, but he comes back in. But he won't say where he's been, and he's acting like a completely different person. This is not the same dude who was starting fights in the Blue Whale and creeping on the girls. He's quiet. He doesn't want to look at anybody. He doesn't want to talk to anybody. just wants to be left alone and just doing one of those. And we have 1,029 episodes to go. We're flying through these. The first 200's a cakewalk, and then the rest is just everything else. Give me my notebook. It's almost like a soft reset when we get to episode 200 and some 210, 11, 12, when we get the new folks coming in. Because, like, yeah, we know all the prior cast, but there's so much to learn about these new folks who showed up, and they're so interesting that it's like we already had one show and we're getting another show layered on top of it, and then these two shows mix well together. I don't know if there's anybody who just flat out doesn't like, I don't know, like Liz and Roger, so they don't care about the Colin Wood part, but we get to the Old House and Barnabas stuff, and that's what they care about. I don't know if there is that person. If there is, they've been awfully quiet online, but it's just that a lot of folks have not seen the beginning, and I understand why, but then after a while, you're going to want to know some things, and then you're going to wonder, I wonder if that's in the first 209 episodes, and then you end up watching it, and it's not what I would have expected when I first jumped into the beginning. Oh, what's up, Barton? Glad you made it. A link for that is in the description for the channel and for the show as well. You can watch it for free right now on Tubi, and they have it on Internet Archive. The only real difference is Internet Archive is not going to tell you the episodes that they skipped. Or just, skipped number-wise. They were just not paying that close attention, so some are just missing. But I'll cover those here since this is a complete review. Okay. So the last thing we saw was that Willie was brought back to Collinwood by Jason to apologize, and he sort of, apologized to Liz and Carolyn, but then he looked at a portrait of Barnabas, screamed, fell out, got taken to his room, and then Jason saw that Willie's got his right wrist, like the whole sleeve is shredded, and then there's a cloth wrapped around his wrist that he will not let anybody see. He's freaking out. He's got it covered up, doesn't want anybody to see it, look at it, touch it, nothing. And that's kind of freaked Jason out, because he's never seen his buddy act this way before. So we are on episode 217. This aired on April 26th, 1967. And we're in a brand new day. It's day 57. And we'll find out really quickly. It's afternoon. Oh, what's up, Brian? Glad you made it. Said happy Saturday. Yeah, you too. But they did the thing again, like when Roger was locked up, they told the actor not to shave so he'd look extra rough. That's what they did this time, because Willie has not shaved. He's lying in bed. And it's like he's having a nightmare. His eyes are closed, but he's tossing and turning and he's kind of mumbling to himself. So he's not getting any restful sleep over there. But Jason's in his room as well, and he's just looking at this coat of Willie's, because the entire whole section of it's just got these little spots, these speckles that we can see, and Jason knows it's blood, but Willie won't talk about it. But Jason's just kind of, what can he do about that? He just takes the coat and he hangs it up on this chair, but he sort of bumps the chair when he's hanging it up. Oh, what's up, Dandy? Glad you made it. Saying hi to everybody in the chat room. How's it going? But when you bump a piece of furniture, you don't mean to. He doesn't know his own strength. He hangs up the coat, kind of bumps the chair, so it sort of skids on the floor just a tad. Just enough to make a noise, and that startles Willie awake. So he sees Jason is there. Ask him what time is it. Jason says it's a few minutes before 4. Willie says, I gotta get out of here. And he starts to get out of bed, and Jason Nuke grabs him. It's like, you're too sick to go anyplace. You just lie back and rest. Willie says, rest? No, I can't rest. I don't want to. Jason asks him, why not? What's the matter with you? Willie just, I don't know. Jason says, well, I better get a doctor. That's when Willie's like, no! Then he lies down just completely flat. He says, I don't need a doctor. Jason asks him, what's under that bandage? Willie says, nothing. There's nothing there. But he's really too weak to fight him off, so Jason just starts pulling at that bandage. Like, it's just really, it's like cloth. It's got a little knot tied in it. So he undoes that, unwraps it. And we can sort of see his arm. There's we can't exactly see what Jason sees, but you can tell they put makeup on the actor's wrist. It's got this, it's dark. It's almost like a bruise, or like you had a rash, you kept scratching your wrist, and now it's just healing, but there's a good size area that there's something going on his wrist there. But that's it. It's just discolored. There's no blood. There's no scratches on it. Nothing. It's just this little discolored area. Even that bandage that he took off, there wasn't blood on that. That's dry. But Jason's looking at his arm like, oh, it's just a tiny cut. Willie says, I told you. Jason's looking at the rest of his arm. He's like, well, your arm doesn't look like it has any veins. The skin's all gray. It's almost as if this arm's been drained of blood. But how? So that's what Willie says. I got into a fight with some guy in a bar. He cut me with the razor, and it went pretty deep. So I guess I lost a lot of blood. It's like, well, why would I lie? Jason says, you still haven't told me why you disappeared. And Willie's he's too tired. He's either pushed himself up on his elbows, or he's lying completely flat. Like, this man is just that exhausted. So he's lying flat on his back, and he's just kind of drifting off here. He's just saying, I just wanted to get away. I wanted to go, but I couldn't. Jason says, without the money, you're not making any sense. Just lie back and get some rest. So Willie says, rest? I can't rest. Dude is tired as hell for some reason, but now we're down in the foyer. And Victoria must have just found out. She's like, Willie's back? Carolyn tells her he's going to be here for a while. He looks sick. He looks just awful. Then he fell out on the floor there, had to be drug up to his room. I offered to call a doctor, but Jason said no. Victoria, I don't like the idea of Willie being in Collinwood, even if he is sick. Carolyn says, Willie frightens me in a way he never has before. It's as if he isn't Willie anymore. It's like he's become an entirely different person. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but he's not behaving like the Willie we know. He's quiet and sort of passive. It's as if he's recovering from some terrible beating, and he doesn't want anybody to hurt him. and he doesn't want to hurt anybody else. Victoria tells her, it could be in your imagination. So just then Jason comes down the stairs and he lets the girls know, yeah, Willie woke up for a minute there, but he's got this cut on his wrist. He's lost a lot of blood, but that wouldn't account for it. So Victoria asks, shouldn't you call a doctor? Jason says, he says a doctor can't help him. Carolyn asks, are you sure he's not faking so he can stay? Jason says, you saw him. Do you think he's pretending? If he gets worse, I'll call a doctor. So then he asks Victoria to have Mrs. Johnson make Willie some food. So Victoria heads to the kitchen. But Carolyn wants to talk to Jason, so they head into the living room. And she asks him, well, where did Willie go? Jason says, I don't know. He said he'd been around. So Carolyn's, okay, well, never mind that then. What did you mean the other night when you said to stop asking questions or I could get my mother in trouble? What kind of trouble? Jason, serious trouble. Carolyn, that's no kind of answer. Jason says, I'm Liz's friend and I'm protecting her. I'm sure she wouldn't want me to tell you anymore. Carolyn asks him, are you really her friend? Jason, I think so. And I'd like to be your friend too. I wish you'd stop being so suspicious of me. Carolyn says, I know my mother's in trouble and you're the cause of it. I'm sorry you and Willie ever came here. I know something weird's happening and I don't like it. Oh, she's done. She leaves the room. So upstairs, we're up in Willie's room again, and he's still having a nightmare. Like he's just tossing and turning. He's grabbing his pillow. He's just mumbling in his sleep. Just having the worst kind of a dream fit. Oh, what's up, Inkling? Glad you made it. Hello from the future, Nikki and Nickleys. Yeah, we still kind of don't have a name for ourselves. Maybe that works. I don't know. It'll come together. But Willie's, he's lying there. He's having his little dream fit. He's saying it can't get dark again. No, don't let it get dark again. Don't let it happen again. I'm scared. So later on, it looks like it's darker outside. So, okay, it's not the afternoon anymore. But Victoria comes in. She sees Willie, he's lying there throwing the man just can't lie still. It's like every time he closes his eyes, he has a nightmare. So he's in that state. But she's got a tray. It's got a bowl on it. And she just sort of looks at him, walks over to the table by the window, sets the tray down kind of loud, like kind of clangs a bit, like we can hear the silverware on it. I think she did that on purpose because it scares Willie. It startles him awake. He's like, who's there? Victoria says, it's Vicky. Sorry I woke you. Willie asks, well, what do you want? Victoria tells him, I brought you a tray. Mrs. Johnson made you some dinner. Willie's, dinner? It's dinner time. Victoria, it's almost. So, Willie, is it dark outside? Look out that window. So Victoria goes to the window, looks outside. They got like the sheer curtain kind of hanging in front, sort of kind of pushes that to the side, looks out. Says, "Well, it's starting to get dark." But Willie, "But there's still some light." Victoria, "Yes." Willie's relieved. He said, "There's still time." Victoria, "Time for what?" Willie, "Nothing." So Victoria's like, "Well, I'll set the tray over there by the bed so you don't have to get up." So he just moves it across the room. That's awfully nice of her. So Willie just, "Okay, sure, thanks." Victoria says, "Can I get you anything?" Willie says, "Yeah, you can do me one favor. You can get out of here." Victoria says, "What?" Victoria's like, or not Victoria, but Willie's like, "Look, please go. I'm okay. Just go." So Victoria says, "Fine." She didn't want to walk in there in the first damn place. "Okay, I'm going. Peace." Dandy says, "I watched a few episodes on Tubi. Seems they started when Barnabas came in. Cool to put faces to the characters." Yeah, Tubi has it split up into two parts. If you want to watch from episode 210 and the rest of it, that's just Dark Shadows, nothing else. But if you're looking for episode 1 through 209, you're going to want to type in Dark Shadows, the beginning, and that's what's going to pull up the first part of it without Jonathan Frid. You get a little bit of Jason and Willie before Barnabas shows up. And you get to see characters that are just not in the rest of the show, like Bill Malloy and Frank Garner and the spookologist. But yeah, I sort of don't. I see why they haven't broken up into two parts on Tubi, but part of me doesn't understand why. But I mean, I get it. But yeah, Danny, yeah, that's okay. They have a lot of Dark Shadow stuff on Tubi, but just specifically these two things. Here's the good one. Oh, one to go to. Glad you made it. And then as far as the covers go on Tubi, I think they both sort of look the same. So it's maybe the one that's just Dark Shadows has more of a like a black sort of border to it, and then Dark Shadows the beginning is it might just be a picture of Collinwood, something like that. But it's just two separate names. But that's okay. It's cool to start with 210. Oh, Lisa Gray says it's 39 degrees Fahrenheit up there. Wow, heat wave. Oh, this is just a little bit drippy. I swear there have been thunderstorms like every other day. What's going on? Is it like this every spring? After Carolyn just got done saying, "Oh, Willie's changed. He's an entirely different person." And then Victoria goes up there and he's just yelling at her to, not really yelling, but he's getting excitable with her and telling her to get out and set down the tray and look out the window. Like, "Carolyn said you weren't a dick anymore, but all right, bye." So Victoria's out of the room. But Willie seems to have some energy now, so he gets his legs over the side of the bed. He's not sitting up all the way. He really is quite hunched over. I didn't understand what he was doing at first, but he's just slipping his shoes on. But he gets on his shoes and then he walks over to where his coat, where Jason hung up his coat on that chair, and the chair's closer to the camera, so Willie gets up to the chair, and again, he's still rather weak. So when he gets up to it, he kind of catches himself on it, but he lands in such a way that he's got his hand up, and we can see his wrist a lot better. It's not like when Jason took it off and it was looked like a bad bruise or something. We get a very good shot of his wrist, and what it is, he's got two little holes right here, but then right underneath those two holes, it's as if like you got like two holes like this, and then like there's a line, a straight, almost straight line up and down like that. Now, I did not put this together until the other day when I was playing Minecraft, and I've seen this before. I know this part of this episode really well, and I've seen it a few times. But this is like when you have a shower thought and you're not in the shower, because as we all know, if someone has two little holes in any part of their body, they were probably bitten by a vampire. And when a vampire bites you, it's not like clamp and you can see all the teeth. It's just two little holes. So why is there that line going up and down on his wrist? Like I've never heard of a vampire biting somebody and then underlining it with a cut. So why is there, and this all looks like it happened at the same time too. It doesn't look like the two holes are old and the cut's new, or the cut's old and the two holes are new. It looked like all of this just must have happened at the same time as far as how much this is healed. And I'm really sad that I had this thought, because I was not thinking too deeply about it, but it just playing Minecraft. Oh, maybe that line up and down on Willie's wrist is because he tried to kill himself. Like, what the hell kind of a thing is that to think? But hey, let's think about it. I don't know if Willie was this kind of person to just say, fuck it. But a vampire bites you, and it's not like you just go to work the next day and hug your family and everything's fine. It kind of like fucks with your head. No, you're not a vampire yourself, but you lost a lot of blood and you're rethinking a lot of your life choices and you're tired and what have you. It affects everyone differently. So my horrible thought was that, okay, Willie gets bitten, but then he tries to unalive himself. I don't know where he got the knife from because Bert took his knife, but then it seems that vampire, I don't want to call it a venom because I don't really have a venom, but it seems like when you get bitten by a vampire, you heal faster. So in trying to unalive himself with that cut, he kind of did it for no reason because it's just going to heal faster because he got bitten by a vampire. So he gets bitten, which is traumatic enough, and then he decides, fuck it, but then he can't even kill himself because now he's going to heal too fast because he got bit by a vampire. And so that's all in his head. He can't tell Jason about that. He can't tell anybody about that. One, he got bitten by a vampire. Two, he tried to unalive himself over the course of a day. One really bad evening/morning. You can't. It's as much as people don't talk about suicide now, they really didn't talk about it back then. So who is he going to tell? By the way, this creature of the night bit me and I tried to kill myself. What the fuck do I do, Jason? Just who's got advice for that? Oh, I've seen this happen plenty of times. What you do is like, no, it's. So he's got all that swimming around in his head. So like, yeah, I can see why Willie is in a bad way. Now we see this for a second. So folks watching back in the day, I don't know if they would have noticed that, but absolutely nowhere. And I'm not the vampire expert, but absolutely nowhere do you ever see bite marks with an underline. So that's rough, man. I sort of have a little thing in my head, like characters who would actually unalive themselves, like Rick Sanchez. And so I got to add Willie to the list because he saw that happening. He's like, fuck that. I'm not going to be vampire food. But then it didn't even work. So he's just extra fucked. Immortality is a curse. What's up, TL? Glad you made it. The effort approach, that's always been my favorite. Like, dude, bail. Fuck it. Knife. Just. Oh, the Inkling says that they're in the North Island, but I've actually spent most of my life in the South Island. Is it two islands? I thought it was just big one like chunk. I don't know anything about New Zealand. I know where Old Zealand is. Do they speak Dutch there? But yeah, so uh, what the hell, Willie? So thanks to the benefit of streaming and DVD, we can see that Willie did not take being bitten by a vampire lightly at all. I guess we can assume what that is, because what else would it be? So, oh yeah, that's scary as hell. But he sees his wrist. He doesn't want to look at that any more than we do, so he covers it up with his hand, grabs his jacket, and he pulls that sleeve on so fast, gets his coat on. Then he looks out the window one more time just to make sure there's no, or there is some light out there. And as soon as he turns to the door opens up, and there's Jason right there. Jason says, "What are you doing up? Where do you think you're going?" Willie says, "I gotta get out of this house. I just do. But the people here, they don't like me. They want me to leave. And I don't want to be here. I want to leave." Jason says, "You're sick, man. You can barely stand up." Like, I'm done arguing with you. Just off with the jacket. Back into bed. You're going to stay there. And he just starts, pulling you. Willie can barely stand up, so Jason's pulling his coat off of him. He really can't stop him. His jacket, I should say. No, you're lying back down. Jason says, "I wish you would tell me what's wrong." Willie's lying back down now. He says, "Nothing's wrong." Hey, look, Jason, I'm tired. Real tired. I want to go to sleep now. Jason says, "It's because you don't want to talk to me." Willie's like, "No, it's because I'm tired. I really am. I'm starting to go to sleep. I won't try anything. Just leave me alone so I can sleep." Head's turning away, dropping down. Jason says, "I'm going to take care of you, whether you like it or not." So Willie just full on, just out like a light. Jason's like, "Willie?" Willie's not moving. He's asleep. So Jason just, okay, he can't prove that he's not sleeping, so Jason just gets up, walks out of the room. And as soon as we hear the door close, Willie opens his eyes. But he gets up, he looks out the window, pulls back the curtain. And it's night. And this man could not be more upset. He's like, "It's too late. It's dark. It's too late." But then we start to hear that heartbeat again, and he looks back up. It's like, "I hear you. I hear you calling me, and I'm coming." Backs away from the window. Something's giving him the energy to be this awake at night. Oh, the Inkling says it's two main islands, north and south, and then some smaller islands. Example, Stewart Island, The Chatham's Great Barrier. Oh, okay, okay. Is it like, do you have to fly to one island or the other, or is there a boat? Like, I never knew Japan was sections. I thought it was all connected, but they have ferries and whatnot. So now we're in the foyer, and Willie is heading downstairs, but the whole time, that like he's holding on to the banister for every steps. He's holding on to the banister going down the stairs. He like kind of stumbles down the last two or three of them there. He's got to catch himself. So he's walking, but he's almost dead on his feet. But while he's at the foot of the stairs, he looks up and he sees that portrait of Barnabas. And he starts, like, he's got his eyes closed and he's just slowly shuffling his feet up to it. It's like the painting is pulling him up to it, even though, like, his eyes are closed, but it's still pulling him up towards it. So then we're in the living room with Jason, and he's just pacing back and forth. Well, what the hell is he going to do? But he looks up, and we see what he's seeing. We see Willie basically in front of the front doors there. So Jason says, Willie! So Willie goes from his shuffling trance. He's reaching for the doors. He gets them pulled open, but that's when Jason catches him. It's like, where do you think you're going? Willie says, out. Jason, just out where? Willie, nowhere, just out. Jason says, why do you have to go out, Willie? Willie says, I just do. Let me go, please. Jason, where do you have to go that's so important? Willie, I don't have to go anywhere important. I just gotta leave this house. I just do. Please let me go. Jason says, you're not going anywhere except back to bed. So Willie just, all right, all right. Can't even stand up on his own. Jason's got to hold on to him the whole time. But there's Willie shuffling his feet, walking back up to the stairs, and Jason's right there. He's like, I'm going to get you up to your room, and the first thing you're going to do is start answering him. He's starting to walk past Willie, and that's when Willie just shoves him down on the stairs, turns around, and runs out of the house so fast he almost leaves a trail of, like a cloud of smoke behind him, kicking up dust. But he books it out the door. We hear a car start up. Jason yells after him. Then he reaches over to his coat hanging up, and he's feeling in the pocket like he's looking for keys. Maybe he had Willie's keys in his coat pocket, but that's what he's looking for. He's looking for some keys, and he grabs his coat, runs out the door after him. Oh, Lisa Grain saying 39 Fahrenheit is way better than sub-zero temperatures for months. Oh, Sandhill crane, numerous geese, ducks, numerous shorebirds or shorebirds, American robins, all types of warbles, sparrows, etc. All kinds of birds, man. Oh, there it is. I couldn't see it because it's hiding. Inkling says you can fly or catch the ferry between the main islands. At least you can while they still have fuel, right? After that, I have to invest in a swan pedal boat to make the crossing. Yeah, just break up the canoe. This is totally safe. We're not in an ocean. Oh, then Dandy's saying he's waiting for those birds to fly through his area. Yeah, we get birds. Apparently. I know we get seagulls. What are you laughing at? What? What's so funny up there? So now we are at the Eagle Hill Cemetery, and there's Willie walking through, looking behind himself every few steps. Oh, what's up, Jen Rogers? Glad you made it. But Willie walks through, then we hear a car pull up, and then there's Jason, and he's Willie, just He can't yell too loud. The caretaker's out there. He's still looking for his friend, though. Oh, Arden says they're getting robins in southeastern Pennsylvania now. Oh, cute. Get some of those red robins. They have cheeseburgers. So we're at the Collins family tomb now. There's Willie just walking in, just opening up that gate always squeaks or creaks because it's a metal gate. So even if you're not looking, you're going to hear it open and close. It's not an annoying squeak, but still, get out there with some WD-40 something. But anyway, it makes it creepier. But Willie goes in and he walks up to the Naomi Collins plaque with the line above it. He doesn't want to, but he just pulls on that ring to get that door to open up. And we hear a heartbeat when the door opens up. And Willie hops on inside. And about a second later, there's Jason walking into the tomb. And of course, the door's closed up by now, but he's still, like, Willie? Looking around and checking the edges of stuff for cigarette butts, but no answer. He doesn't see his friends, so he takes off. We see the Collins family tomb for the credits. It's something's happened to Willie. It's like he's been violated. It's definitely not the same guy. Oh, Inkling's saying that she looked up sandhill cranes and American robins, and they're both beautiful. Some say birds are the messengers of the gods. That could be. Ard said, I've been listening but bustling around the kitchen. Ooh, nice. That's cool. So episode 218 aired on April 27th, 1967. Oh, we're still in day 57, but it's nighttime now. We're in the Eagle Hill Cemetery, and they reshot where, Jason just calling for Willie a little bit, but he doesn't see him, so he just turns around, walks back through the cemetery past the graves. But as Jason walks out of the shot from the shadows, Barnabas steps out. Why would Barnabas be in the cemetery at night? It's kind of weird. Maybe that'll be explained. Sorry if that made noise when I touched that. But now we're in the living room at Collinwood, and Roger is on the phone. Like, are you sure? Hangs up. He was on the phone with the Collinsport Inn looking for Barnabas, but they said he's not registered there. But Roger can't figure where he would be. There isn't a decent hotel within 50 miles of Collinsport. Liz is wearing her, I call it the dots dress, where it's like a crisscross pattern on the bust, like the chest, and then the sleeves it's a dark fabric with these lighter colored dots, and just they're a little bit more sporadic on the arms of it. With the double pearl earrings, single strand of pearls for the necklace. She says that maybe Barnabas, he could be staying with friends. Roger tells her he doesn't have any. Shouldn't we invite him to stay here? Liz says we can't with those two others. Roger, Barnabas is our cousin, and he should be given more consideration than those sea tramps. Liz says they're my guests, and I decide how long they'll stay. Besides, I think Barnabas would refuse an invite to stay here. So Roger lets her know that Barnabas is thinking about going into business in Collinsport. Just then there's a knock at the front door. Well, Arden says I made baked bacon, onion, and potato for dinner, but was just cleaning up and doing bills. Oh my god! Sounds so. There's nothing about that sentence I don't like. Oh, Dandy's doing the singing the Rockin' Robin song. If they still have Red Robin, I haven't been to one in a minute. Dude, they've got burgers and fries. I wonder if they make mojitos. But Roger enters the knock at the door, and it's Barnabas. He's there wearing a hat. Where does he keep that hat? He wasn't wearing the hat when he was in the cemetery just now. Where does he keep that hat? That's just me wondering that. But Barnabas says, I don't usually visit so unexpectedly. Roger's glad to see him. It's like I tried reaching you at the Collinsport Inn, and we wondered where you were staying. So Barnabas totally sidesteps that. Is Elizabeth here? Roger's like, yeah, she's in the living room. Come on in. Shows him in. So Roger goes on saying, we were wondering about your accommodations. Barnabas says that his accommodations have been adequate. So Roger, we thought you'd be more comfortable here with us. Barnabas says, well, how very thoughtful of you. Yeah, thank you so much. I've been thinking about changing my accommodations. I thought it over very carefully, and there's something I'd really like to do. I'd like to move into the old house. So Roger's like, the old house? It's not habitable. It's decayed. Barnabas, not decay. Disuse, perhaps. Roger, but no one's lived there for years. Barnabas, that's the shame of it. Such a beautiful old structure standing there so sadly empty. Liz, why do you want to live there? Barnabas, the old house has been on my mind for many years. I feel I belong there. I know every inch of it, everything about it. I was brought up with the old house as the background to my family. I've watched my family gradually die away until I was the only member left of that entire branch. We're all that's left of the entire family. So you wonder why I sought you out. Liz says, I'm surprised you exist at all. I heard the original Barnabas Collins went to England and died unmarried. Barnabas says, I assure you that I'm the product of a proper marriage. There were even those who would have liked to have considered Barnabas dead. But he lived on and outlived his enemies. So you can understand why I would like very much to live in the old house. Inkling, perhaps he keeps the hat and a cat. Not as many cats on this show as you would think. Sadly. Maybe they didn't have a good cat actors union back then. So Roger asks him, would you live there long? Barnabas, I don't know. But I looked it over and I'm certain I'll be happy there. Roger says, but it's so dreary and morbid. Barnabas, I find it suitable. I particularly want a quiet place. Roger, there's no electricity. Barnabas, I won't need electricity. Roger says, it's filthy. Barnabas says, I'll have it cleaned. I'll be responsible for any expenses. You can charge me any rent you see fit. Roger says, we wouldn't dream of charging you rent for that place. I wish you'd reconsider. Barnabas says, thank you so much for your offer, but I'm sure I'll be far more comfortable at the old house. Arden CAU Cat Actors Union. Yeah. Whatever guild the cat from My Fair Lady was in. Roger says, I'm concerned about anyone staying in a place in that condition. Leia's just same. She says, I'm not ready to consider it. Barnabas says, I do wish you'd think it over carefully. To live in the old house is an experience I feel I won't be complete without. So Liz says that she'll think about it for a few days and then she'll get back to him, and she's out of the room. So Barnabas says, I'm afraid I caught her off guard. Is it so absurd to want to live in the old house? Roger's like, no, you're sensitive and sentimental. I can see how much it means to you. Barnabas says, well, perhaps you could help Liz to think about it. I'd be most grateful. Like, help her think about it faster. Inkling says maybe the CAU deemed there was an unacceptable clause in the cat actor's contract. I get it. CLAWS. Womp womp. I like that one. Maybe with since vampire fangs are close to cat's teeth, they figure that that's too much cat happenings, catness on TV in the 1960s. So now we're in Roger's study, and Jason pours himself a drink. So Liz walks in. She says, where's Willie? Mrs. Johnson went to get his tray, and he's gone. Jason, he went out. Liz, I thought he was too sick to move. Jason, he is. I told him to stay in bed, but he's a stubborn lad. He doesn't want to admit he's sick. He went out without my knowing it. Liz says, well, it's obvious he can't be trusted. If you have no influence with him, who has? If he's well enough to go out, he's well enough to go out permanently. You've done nothing but lie to me since you returned, and I'm going to put an end to it right now. Jason, no, you won't. The only ending for us involves the police. In the foyer, Roger is speaking with Barnabas. He's just saying that he'll talk to Liz, and he's looking forward to Barnabas living closer. And then Barnabas asks for the address of the shipyard owner. Roger, he's like, well, if you, wait here a second. If I've got it, I'll go get it for you. So he leaves him in the foyer. Roger takes off. I guess he doesn't have his phone in his pocket. Danielle, Willie is a pain in the arse. It just, if there's a way to do something wrong or screw something up or make the wrong decision, this man is just on it. It's like, is anybody gonna, you see a wet paint, do not touch. There's the man with his hand on it. Like, oh, this paint here, now my hand's dirty. Smear. So you can't trust him with anything. So Barnabas is just waiting there in the foyer. There's that one big giant picture on the wall. See, he walks up to that, looks at it, reads the nameplate. Okay. But then he gets a little bit closer into the foreground there. We see the door to the kitchen open up, and it's Jason. So he, says hello to get Barnabas's attention, and Jason says, "Haven't we met?" Barnabas, "Never." Jason, "Are you positive?" "I'm sure we have. I have a talent for remembering those things." Barnabas, "I assure you, we've never met." So they introduce themselves to each other. Jason says, "Oh, so you're a member of the family?" Barnabas, "Yes. And you?" Jason, "I'm a friend of the family." Barnabas asks him, "Are you enjoying your stay here?" Jason's, "Ah, yes, it's a marvelous house. How did you know I was staying here?" Barnabas, "Someone must have mentioned it." But Jason still cannot place him. Like I've seen you somewhere before. It's just not quite clicking. So Barnabas says, "Oh, you must have looked at this portrait," and points out the picture that's been hanging on the wall. Jason says, "I'd swear that was a picture of you. Judging by this, you're definitely a Collins and descended from this man here." Barnabas, "No doubt about it." Jason, "I heard he was buried with all his jewels. Wouldn't that encourage a grave robber?" Barnabas, "It might. Anyone looking for this fellow's grave will never find it because he was buried in England." Jason, "Are you sure?" Barnabas, "I would know. His jewelry was disposed of properly." Jason, "And not buried with him?" Barnabas, "No." Jason, "Oh, good. I'd hate to see crime encouraged." So now it's as if it's a little bit later on. We're in Roger's study, and I noticed a couple things in this scene that finally clicked for me. Well, first of all, Liz walks in. There's there's two bookshelves on the back walls, and then there's those bookshelves that are sort of off to the side there. Over, we can't always see them; they're off to the side. But she takes down one of those books from the back wall, and just there's like some little knickknacks on some of the shelves, and I was like, wait, those are the same bookshelves from Willie's room. And I went back to the last episode, or this earlier in this episode, whenever it was, to look, and it is. It's the same bookshelf. It's like what they did is just use that exact same wall for Roger's study as they use for Willie's bedroom, and just the whole rest of the room is different, and even like in the study there's a table with some books on it, and then in Willie's room there's that table with the two chairs off to the side, but that's the same books, man. Oh, that's why that's familiar. And something else I noticed, Liz's dot dress, I'm still going to call it that, but when we get close to it, we can see they're not exactly dots. They're teeny tiny, shiny squares, like maybe silver. I'm still going to call it the dot dress because it looks like dots from far away, but when we get close, we can tell it's not white. It's kind of shiny, kind of metallic. And yeah, it's little tiny squares. That's the dot dress. Inkling says has to take off and make the most of the day off work. Oh, cool, yeah. Nice to see you. Enjoy your day off. Take it easy. Smash the like button before you go. It helps out the channel. But Liz gets her book. She sits down with it in her dots square dress. But she's just chilling, minding her own business. And Roger comes in to let her know that Barnabas left. Now, pours a sherry for her and one for himself. It's like, yeah, I caught, Jason talking to him. I wish he wasn't so obvious about working on people he thinks have money. Liz says, I wish you would ignore him. Roger, I certainly try. Do you like Barnabas? Liz, I think so. So Roger says, well, what do you think of his proposal? Oh, Inkling liked and subscribed. Thank you. That helps out. I appreciate it. Oh, Inkling asking Dandy, say meow meow to Brittany for me. Aw, kitty cat. Yeah, Roger asks what she thinks. Liz says, it's absurd to think anyone would want to live in the old house. Just like, not really. He's so steeped in the family traditions. It'd be a tremendous experience for him to stay in the house of his forefathers. So, Liz, why do you want him here? Roger, he's one of the family. We're all he's got left. If strangers can stay at Collinwood, I don't see why family can't stay at the old house. I'll call him in the morning and, that's something. I don't have his phone number. I still don't know where he's staying. And then we are in the Eagle Hill Cemetery. It's foggy. It's usually foggy there. But we see someone walking up the steps to the Collins family tomb. And it's Barnabas. And we see the Eagle Hill Cemetery for the credits. Okay, so they were just talking about where's Barnabas staying at, and then we see the cemetery. Okay, if he's staying in the cemetery, is that where he's keeping his hat? Go to this tomb that no one's opened up in over 100 years, and then you go into the back, and you pull on a ring, and it opens up a secret room, and then you go into that secret room, and there's a whole friggin' coffin wrapped in chains and a hook for a hat. Okay. I guess they had to have a place to hang up their hats when they were wrapping up the coffin in chains. Because I would imagine if you're going to wrap a coffin in chains, you already have the coffin there, and then bring the chains and wrap it up in the same spot rather than having the coffin, putting somebody inside, wrapping it in chains, and taking the whole thing into a mausoleum. That's just, I mean, I've never done it. I just imagine that's how it would be done. If you're not worried about the chain scratching everything and everything's made out of stone and marble, I guess that would be the way to do it. Because carrying a coffin around is one thing, but carrying it around in public and it's got chains on it might make people stop and ask questions. So there's that reason. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hit you. That was a love tap. All right, episode 219. Aired on April 28th, 1967. It is a new day. It's day 58. We see the clock. It is 5 a.m. We're in the foyer. And the door to the kitchen opens up, and it's Willie. And this dude is just dead on his feet. Like he walks into the room and he's just leaning back against the door frame. He's just, it's like wherever he's been all night, it's like he didn't get any sleep either, because dude is just whooped. But he starts walking, just shuffling his feet, walking forward towards the camera. I'm sure he's just trying to go around that table so he can go up the stairs and go to his room. But as soon as he gets so far up, he gets right about to the end of that table, and in from the living room, here walks up Jason. There you are! I waited up all night! And it scares the hell out of Willie, so he's leaning on the table. He's got to hold himself up on it. He can't stand up under his own power. Willie just says, leave me alone. Jason says, you were in the cemetery again. Willie, no, I wasn't there. Jason says, I saw your car there. Willie, but you didn't see me there. Jason says, why did you go there? I happen to know why. Willie says, no, it isn't true. Jason, first you say you're sick, then you run off. Willie says, let me go to my room. I gotta rest. Jason, oh, it's exhausting, isn't it? Doing what you were doing all night. Willie says, I wasn't doing anything. Why can't you just leave me alone? Want to go to sleep? Jason, pretending you're sick during the day so you can cover for what you're doing at night. Willie says, I tell you, I wasn't doing a thing. Wasn't doing anything. Jason says, you were looking for the jewels. That's why you went to the cemetery, isn't it? Willie's, yes, that's what I was doing. Looking for the jewels. I won't look for them anymore. Jason says, you won't have another chance. I'm driving you into Collinsport and putting you on the next bus. I packed your things. They're in the car. Willie says, please, I gotta lie down. I'm sick. I don't feel well. I want to leave, but I can't. Jason, so you can get back to your little treasure hunt. Willie, no, I never want to go back there. I mean it. Jason, all right, come on. He's trying to get Willie to go to the front door, but Willie is just, again, he's just leaning on his friend. If he's near something, he's leaning on it. The man can't stand up for nothing. But Willie says, I can't. Please, I have to sleep. Jason says, you can sleep in the car. So Willie just collapses. You know, when you're sitting down on your legs, he's just down on the ground. He can barely look up, but he finally looks up at his friend. He says, Jason, you're my friend. Help me. Jason says, I'll help you as far as the car. The morning air will do you some good. Willie says, morning? Please, I'm sick. I can't go. So Jason pulls Willie up to his feet. Like, come on, you're standing up, man. Jason, like, look at me. I have to know you're not lying to me again. Willie says, I'm not lying to you. I'm sick, honest. Just please help me upstairs. Jason says, do you want the jewels that badly? Willie says, no, I don't want any jewels ever. I want to sleep. Please help me. Jason tells him he never should have looked at that picture with all those jewels. Then you wouldn't have run off last night. Willie says, I told you I don't want any jewels. Jason, you say that now, but what about tonight? Willie, tonight? No, not tonight. Never. So Jason helps him on upstairs. I guess he's not kicking him out tonight. Or this morning, anyway. It's early as hell. 5 a.m. Damn. So Willie's upstairs. Now we're up in his room. I don't think this has anything to do with what he's been through, but Willie's got this long, like 3-inch long scar up on his upper arm, on the inside of his arm there. I don't know if that's like a scar, or like was the actor laying on the shirt somehow, because he's still got that tore up shirt. I don't know if that has anything to do with. Maybe I'm just looking too hard, but I didn't know. I noticed that. It's not like he's got holes in his arm up there or anything. But he's having a nightmare, just tossing and turning, just can't just lie there peacefully, mumbling the whole nine. Something's going on. But Roger walks in. It's like, Loomis, wake up. Said Willie's startled. So Roger's, oh, good morning, young man. So Willie's like, is it still morning? Good. Roger, it's early afternoon. You seem to need a little extra rest today, don't you? Willie says, please, I want to sleep. And he lies back down. Roger says, I'm afraid that's impossible. You're leaving. Get up. Willie says, leave me alone. I'm sick. Roger, that's a lie. The entire household knows you drove off last night and probably didn't come back until this morning. You couldn't possibly be sick. Now get up. Willie says, I can't. Roger says, do you want me to use force? And he pulls the, like, Willie had a blanket that's just covering his legs, so Roger pulls that off. But then Willie just, it's like, no force, no fights. I'll get up. So he finally sits up really slowly, and this isn't supposed to be funny, but it is. Dude has the most epic bedhead you've ever seen. Like, I don't know what they put in anybody's hair back then to make it do anything. I don't know how they got this effect, but like, dude looks like a brand new bald eagle chick. I'm like, just hair is wild. Like, the man has just been tossing and turning in his sleep for hours, having nightmares, but his hair is just fucking wild as hell. There's no combing it down. Art and hairspray, yeah, whatever they were doing to keep hair still, it's like they said no, and it's spiky, it's this way, it's that way, it's everywhere, but this is just defying gravity. It's the silly, like, if he wasn't so sick, it's I would if he was any less sick, I would laugh at it more, but he's really sick. You're not thinking about your hair when you're that ill, but it's so wild. It's normally not, like, his hair is like nice for the entire rest of the show, and then we get to this one part and it's just everywhere. But he sits up, and not sit up, but he's kind of leaning forward a bit, and Ryder says, if you think you're going to go to Liz and tell her to let you stay, or try to let you stay, it's not going to do any good, because she sent me up here to tell you to leave. So Willie just reaches out. He's like, will you please give me a hand? And Roger backs up a step or two from him. He's like, I will do no such thing. It's humiliating to watch this charade of yours, let alone participate in it. You don't need any help, and you know it. So Willie's like, please help me get to my feet. Rogers, I must say, you do this well. You look ghastly. So he's not helping. Willie gets his legs, swings him off over the side of the bed. He's all like that. He gets to the bed post there, the board. He's got his hands on it. He goes to push himself up. He can't even get all the way up. He's shaky. He's holding on with both hands. He's just I don't think I'm gonna make it. Roger is such a dick. He's like applauds the man. It's like, bravo, Loomis, encore. Sarah Bernhardt could take lessons from you. Willie does not think it's funny. He's still just barely holding on. He's like, help me, please. And dude falls back on the mattress. He's just down. He's done talking, just done with all of it. He's breathing heavy. And there's Roger. This is ridiculous. Loomis, get up. Do you hear me? I won't put up with this any longer. And he storms out of the rooms. Willie kind of pushes himself back up on the bed, but he's just done. Just breathing heavy. He's totally out of it. Hair's out of whack. He's all kinds of messed up. So down in the living room, Roger is talking to Jason. He says, I have no doubt that man is not sick. Jason says, I know it's hard to believe. Roger, it's not hard. It's impossible. From the first time I saw him, I knew he was a fraud, and nothing has changed my mind since. Jason says, I know some things can be faked, and Willie isn't beyond them, but this is the real thing. Suppose I get him away from here, and then he has a turn for the worse. Roger, a mild cough would be a turn for the worse, because I tell you there's nothing wrong with this man. Jason says, there is something wrong with him. Roger, then what is it? Jason's, I don't know. How do we know it isn't serious? Roger, well, we can find out by calling a doctor. You think he's sick, so you need the doctor to convince you that he isn't. Jason says, I suppose I should have called one whether Willie wanted one or not. So Roger says that he'll phone for a doctor for him, but then the phone rings. So he answers it, just get a little bit of back and forth. It's the sheriff called. He wants Roger to stop down into the police department. But he kind of really didn't say what, but just to come down there. So now Roger tells Jason that, well, he's too busy to call the doctor, so yeah, Roger says he's too busy to, call the doctor up. And Jason asks him if the sheriff, did he imply if what he wanted is important? Roger's, oh, of course it's important to him. He probably wants me to sit on some boring committee. So I can't call the doctor for you. He gets the phone book for him, hands it to Jason, tells him to look under the name Woodard. And that if Liz asks, tell her that he went to the police department, but don't imply anything is wrong so she doesn't worry. Just, that's where I'm going to be at. Everything's fine. So Jason, yeah, sure, I'll tell her. So then he's looking through the phone book, finding the number, dialing the phone. Haven't been here in a while. We're in the police department. Roger's saying, he's like, well, I don't understand. If the cattle from the farm are dying, why wasn't the vet called? Sheriff tells him, well, the vet called us. So all of these animals that died of the same thing, loss of blood. It wasn't a disease. They were drained of blood expertly. And no animal could have done this. So Roger says, you mean a person did this? Sheriff says, that's how it looks. So Roger asks, has this only happened on Collins family farms? And Sheriff tells him no. So it's not like one person is specifically going for Collins family cattle farms. They're hitting up anybody's cattle farm. It's not just them. So it's not like a organized attack on the family. So Roger asks, what kind of man would do such a thing? So now we're back in Willie's room. This is different. He's actually sleeping soundly. He's not tossing and turning like his hair isn't doing wild stuff. He's just lying there quietly sleeping. We've never seen that before. I didn't know he could. But he's lying there, and the doctor is checking his pulse. This will be our Dr. Woodard. He's saying, well, there's no infection. He's not sick at all. Jason says, well, look at him. He's weak. The doctor says his pulse is above normal. Jason asks, is there something wrong with his heart? Doctor says, I hope not, considering the extra work it's doing. The reason is there's less blood in his body, so the heart has to work that much harder to circulate what there is through the rest of his veins. Oh, what's up, B-Champ? Glad you made it. Jason says, less blood? Doctor says what he's suffering from is an enormous loss of blood. I don't know what they're going to do here with this Dr. Woodard, because later on there is somebody with that same last name. So I don't know if they mean to recast this guy or if they just happen to use the same name for two different characters just because that happens, because it happens again later on, so it's not like they're paying that close attention. They just use the name that they like and fill it in. So I'm not sure how that's going to go. I want to say it's supposed to be different than a Dr. Woodard we see later on, but I assume it's a different guy. I'm just assuming. But there will be another Dr. Woodard. So this guy's an older gentleman, white hair, fella, looks like a doctor. But now we're back in the police department real quick, and the sheriff is saying to Roger as he's heading out, like, well, if you get any idea who this might be. Roger says, who could drain an animal of blood and leave no trace? Sheriff says, I wouldn't dwell on it too much. We'll keep you informed. Yeah, thanks for telling me, and heads out. I guess that's something you don't want to tell people on the phone. Hey, we found all these dead animals. Come and talk about it. Arden says, I thought it was the same character, but they swapped out the actor. It could be because, again, later on, there's a character name, and then they use it again rather soon. So I want to say, oh, they're so careful that would never happen, but it has happened before. Because when I went to write down the actor's name, they didn't even put it in the credits. Like, I'm sure it's on the Dark Shadows wiki. I guess we'll see later on when this other actor shows up. I mean, it could be the same guy. We'll find out together. Because sometimes they do just change out the actor sometimes, and it's they're allowed to do that. But like with Willie Loomis, um, but it's not like this is a completely different Willie than the guy that showed up in episode 206. It's the same guy. He just went through some shit. But now we're in the foyer, and Jason is saying to the doctor that that wound is so small. How did he lose all that blood? Dr. Woodard said, because it goes so deep into the vein, if the wound goes as deeply as he thinks it does. It's like, I don't know how it healed so quickly. But, make sure he rests, stays hydrated. Don't go out having adventures at night, guy. So just then Roger gets back and he asks, were you able to diagnose our guest? Dr. Woodard said, well, he has no ailment at all, but he is suffering from severe loss of blood. Roger says, loss of blood? Dr. Woodard, but he's very weak and he will be for quite some time. Roger, how did he lose so much blood? Jason, he has a cut on his arm. You do take the doctor's word for it, don't you? Roger, if that's what's wrong, that's what's wrong. So Dr. Woodard said, he's in no danger. Give him a little time and he'll be fine. Jump up to Willie's room, and now he's having another nightmare. He's just like, no, I can't go back there. I won't go back there. I won't. Tossing and turning, throwing a fit. Then we see the Eagle Hill Cemetery during the day. I wondered why it looks so light. I thought they like switched the colors out, but no, this is just Eagle Hill Cemetery, the shot we always get. But it's daytime. That's why it's so bright. It's so weird. I'm like, those are tombstones. Why is it so? Is it because it's daytime? So it's funny. We get a shot of the Eagle Hill Cemetery during the day, and then we get a shot of the Collins family tomb at night. So it's like from far away, daytime, up close, night shot. So that's Willie's problem. He had a whole bunch of blood just taken, and never mind the line going down his wrist. He went down the street, not across. That's even worse. Oh my god. Bruh, he went through it. All right, now we're getting to one of my. I got halfway into this episode. I'm like, is this one of my favorite episodes? Let me check my list. Forgot to put it on my list, then I added it. It's one of my favorite episodes. I mean, I've got a lot of favorite episodes, but this is when it really officially starts. Why didn't I write that down? Maybe I was distracted. Where's the other one? Oh, it's over here. B-Chap, back got this new thing. Recommended to take a break from a screen. You know when it's time to take a break from the screen when your eyes start to ache. You know when you need a break. The phone tells you when to look at it and when not to look at it. That's like a peep show. Like, I paid for you. I'll look at you whenever I feel like it. All right, episode 220 aired on May 1st, 1967. We are on disc 26. It's still day 58, but it's nighttime now. And Willie is lying in bed, and he's just waking up. So like his face is sweaty. He's just wearing because he wears a white undershirt, and then he'll have a button-up shirt, and then like either the vest or the coat or something like that. But he's not wearing that button-up shirt. Like, that's gone. So he's just got this white undershirt on, but like that's wet. Like, face is wet. His hair's not a wreck anymore, but he's just waking up with the sweats. And he sits up, and he's feeling stronger. So he gets up out of bed, and he looks outside, and he's not happy to see that the moon is out there. But then he walks around to the other side of the bed, just picks something up. It's his sock. So they finally got his shirt and his socks off of the man. But he's, just putting his sock on, just so he doesn't see the door. But Jason walks in. And when he closes the door, that makes Willie jump and turn around to see who made the noise. Jason says, "I thought you were asleep. What are you doing out of bed?" Willie says, "I just thought I'd get dressed." Jason asked it, "How do you feel?" Willie, "Better." Jason says, "Well, you're looking better. Almost like yourself again." Willie's like, "That's right." Jason says, "It's hard to believe just a few hours ago you were collapsing all over the place. I even had to pick you up off the floor and put you back into bed." Willie says, "I appreciate that, Jason." He gets up, walks around the bed. He picks up a shirt, like a button-up shirt, and starts putting it on. Whose shirt is that? Because all of his clothes were taken out of Collinwood. He shows back up, and he's got like that lighter colored jacket on. He's got the button-up shirt with the torn-up sleeve, white undershirt. But if that's not, it's not the same shirt. Like, the sleeve is not shredded. So whose shirt is that? Is it Jason's? Roger wouldn't give this man a shirt. Whose shirt is that? But that's just me just thinking too hard about it. Where it's not David, so where'd this shirt come from? They don't tell us. But Willie's just, putting his shirt on, just buttoning it up, just getting dressed like he's acting normal for the first time since he showed back up. Jason says, "It's hard to believe the doctor said you'd be in bed for a long time. He said you were weak from loss of blood. How can you be up and around the way you are?" And the whole time, Willie's just buttoning up his shirt. He's just looking nervous as hell, like he doesn't want to answer any questions. And just says, "I don't know what to tell you." Jason says, "You've got something going on, and I want to know what it is." Willie says, "I'm telling you, there's nothing." "Why don't you just stop asking me questions?" Jason says, "I can't. I talked Liz into letting you stay here, and then I called a doctor because I was worried about you. I'm sticking my neck out for you, but you're not playing it safe with me, boy." Willie says, "Please, Jason." Jason says, "Don't give me that. You're not confiding in me. And as far as I'm concerned, that's the same as betraying me. If that's the way it's going to be, then we've got to make other arrangements. We came here with one purpose in mind. You've got something going on for your own, and you want to keep it to yourself. Whatever it is, you can keep it. Willie says, no, I got nothing. Please believe me. Jason says, we don't even think alike anymore. I'll lose everything if I stick with you. So Willie goes and sits back down on the bed. He says, I know. Jason says, I can't let you stay here anymore. Willie says, I'll go. Jason, I'm sorry it has to be this way. We have no future. Willie, no future. Jason's like, well, I got the 500 for you. Willie, doesn't make any difference. Jason says, since when doesn't a few bucks in your pocket make any difference to you? Like, see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, your whole attitude's wrong. We're splitting up. I'd expect you to take a swing at me. Willie says, I'm not looking to fight with you. Jason's, no, the fight's gone out of you. You seem so empty somehow. I'd like to help you. Willie says, you can't help me. Jason, you make everything sound so hopeless. As if you were dead and buried. So Willie gets upset. He's got to stand up and walk away from him a little bit. He just didn't like the sound of that. Jason says, now what? You were a man I could say anything to. Now you're so sensitive, I don't know what to say. I've asked all the questions I can ask, and I haven't gotten one single answer. So Willie, I'm sorry. Jason, sure. That's a new word you learned recently. I'd like to know where. I've got the money in my room. I'll meet you downstairs. I'd like to know what happened to you in that cemetery. And he walks out. I'll tell you one of the reasons I like this episode so much. Go to the start of the episode, and it's just Willie wearing that shirt. This man is in such good shape. Oh my God, I spent so much time with this. Guy actors wear too much clothing anyway, so I'm glad they got this guy down to at least his shirt. Very good time was had by myself. This whole show should take place in Florida so people can wear more shorts, but okay. That's not why we're here. This is exactly why I'm glad I don't have clips of the scenes on this show, because I would show you a still of Willie sitting in bed in just his t-shirt, and I would just have a lot to think about and nothing to say. So it's good that this is the format of this show. But later on, we're still in Willie's room, and we don't see it, but he's looking at his wrist, and he doesn't like the sight of that, so he covers it up, just covers it like that, walks away from the camera. But there's a knock at the door, Willie tells him to come in, and it's Victoria. She's got a tray. She says Mrs. Johnson asked her to bring this up for him. Victoria says, I thought you'd be in bed. Willie, I'm feeling better. Victoria, I'm glad to hear it. She sets the tray on the table there. It's just another bowl of soup, and it looks like orange juice. A little glass of orange juice. Hell yeah. But she says that the doctor says you have to follow a special diet. And Mrs. Johnson feels that underneath your hard exterior, you're basically a good person. Willie says, but you don't. Victoria says, I'd rather not discuss it. But she's like, just start with the soup, it's hot, or, have the OJ, and just Willie's just, no, he doesn't feel like eating right now. Victoria says, the doctor says that you haven't eaten in a long time. Willie says, I just can't. Victoria says, please try to eat something, and she turns around to leave, but Willie gets up and stops her. He's like, Vicky, I'm leaving here. Victoria, again. Willie says, I mean it this time. Victoria, if you say so. Goes to leave again, but Willie just, Vicky, I want to say that I've been a louse. I'm sorry I did all those things. Victoria says, most people are sorry when it's too late. Willie's, I just sort of hoped you might forgive me. Victoria, it's not my place to forgive you. I'm sorry everything turned out this way, and I'm sorry you've been sick. That's all the sympathy I can give you. Willie says, I don't think I deserve even that. Victoria, you've become awfully remorseful. What's made you this way? Your illness? Willie's, my illness? Yeah. My illness has made me very remorseful. So down in the living room, it's Jason, and he's talking to Liz. I'll mention this first because this is a new outfit for Liz. This is it's like a medium gray colored dress. It's got two buttons on each side, but it's like right on almost the very side of the dress, like right under the bust. Like there's no way this is any kind of closure. It's just a feature, but where are those? It's like do you have to it's I don't understand. I just don't understand. Like everything is like smooth and plain. There's no decoration, but just these buttons on the side. It's the weirdest thing. But the more you think about it, the weirder it is. So if you don't think about it, you're okay. But like, why are those there? It's got a 3/4 length sleeve, and she's wearing her pearls. And like the neck's too high for a necklace. She's got this new brooch on. I really could not tell what it is. It's the biggest one yet, and it's like branches or a flower or leaves or some kind of twisted something. Friggin' huge, man. It's how is it not pulling down the fabric? It's so big, but that's what she's wearing. It all looks nice. But Jason is saying, well, are you pleased? Liz, pleased is hardly the word. Jason says that Willie will be out in a few minutes and everything will be back to normal. Liz, nothing will be back to normal until you're gone too. Anything I can do to speed the day? Jason, I'll let you know. Liz, please do. I was under the impression your friend would be here for a long time. Jason, he's feeling better. Liz, is he now? The doctor must have given him one of those new miracle drugs. Just then, Willie walks in. Pardon me. There's Jason. Oh, there you are. He'll be going now. Come on, Willie. Willie says, wait a minute. I got something to say to Mrs. Stoddard. Liz, I'm not interested in anything you have to say to me. Willie says, please, I gotta tell you. It's important. Jason's there kind of pulling on his arm. He's like, Mrs. Stoddard isn't interested. Willie says, but this is something different. Mrs. Stoddard, Liz is like, goodbye, Willie, and walks away from him. So she really didn't want to hear it. So Jason just takes his friend to the front door. All right, Liz has great hair and clothing and jewelry. Oh my God, even when it's something silly like buttons in weird places, she can just pull it off. And she always has the bow in her hair. I don't mention it, but it's always up there. I guess if it goes away, then I'll mention it. But like, at some point they figured out how to do her hair, and they're like, perfect, do it that way every day. And oh my God, I love it. And Jason walks Willie to the front door there. And he's like, what's the matter with you? What were you going to tell her? Willie, nothing. Jason, your conscience has been playing tricks on you. You were going to tell her about me. Billy says, no, I swear. It was something else. Jason's like, in a way, I'm glad you're going. I don't think I could take any more of your peculiarities. So he reaches into his coat and he hands Willie the envelope with the 500. And he tells him to check into the Collinsport Inn until he feels better. How much is $500 worth back then? $500 in 1967. Oh, I've already got it up. It's $4,943.31. So it's equivalent of almost $5,000 for just some walking around fuck off money. That's not so bad. I like this sentence because I do everything. I have to write everything shorthand. So this next sentence is, he tells Willie to check into a hotel till he's better. Then he tells him, I'll be down to see you before you go. Willie says, sure, Jason. What's going to happen to me? Jason, I don't know. That's sort of up to you, isn't it? Willie, no. No, it's not up to me. He walks out the front door. Yeah, this line was great. I'll be down to see you before you go. God, that's terrible. That's how I have to write the saying. I'll be down to see you before you go. Like, none of that's in the Bible. It's so funny to see. It sounds like English, but then you write it down, and that's how it looks. Anyway, we're still in the foyer, but now we're seeing the clock. It's chiming, and it is 7:30 p.m. Actually, now we're looking over in the living room because Barnabas is there, and he's saying to Liz, he's apologizing for his habit of dropping in unexpectedly. Liz says, that's all right. I wanted to talk to you, but I didn't know where to reach you. Barnabas says, then my visit is well timed. I'm afraid anxiety about my proposal to move into the new house is the reason for my visit. I wonder if you've given any more thought to it. Liz says, yes, I have. You're welcome to live in the old house as long as you want. Barnabas says, how splendid. You don't know how happy this makes me. Dandy says, good to see shorthand is still a thing. I never learned it, but my ex did, a thing of the past. Yeah, I don't know how like the lawyers do it, but I just try to make words as small as I can, but I have to read it back and think them into real words. What it mostly works out. It's like what? It's that's what he said, but then you write it down. I'm like, what? Oh man. I don't write that way normally. That's just the way I have to do it for these. See you before you. Okay. But Liz asks, when will you be moving in? Barnabas, almost immediately. Liz, well, doesn't it need to be cleaned up? Barnabas, so perhaps a room at a time. Liz, I can send Mrs. Johnson down. Barnabas, that won't be necessary. Liz, can I help you find someone? Barnabas, I've already made preparations for that. Liz, my, you are well organized. Barnabas says, well, I've been looking forward to this for a long time. So Liz offers to get the keys for him so he can lock up. Like, yeah, everything's all opened up, but he might want to lock a door sometime. So she goes off to find those keys. Right, just like a woman. I don't like to write. I like to write out full words when I get a chance to write. Never get to handwrite anything anymore. And then I do come to do this and I'm writing acronyms and that's okay. That looks so silly, but nobody's going to see it. So now we're in the foyer and Victoria's coming downstairs with that tray. Willie did not touch any of his food. We can't tell if he touched the soup or not, but that orange juice is exactly the same. Like, dude, I'll drink it. He just left it there. Whatever, man. But she's got the tray. And Liz is telling her that Mr. Collins is going to move into the old house. And Victoria does not look happy about this at all. She looks surprised. She says, you mean you actually want to live there? Barnabas, yes, live. That's exactly what I intend to do. Victoria says, well, you'll have to forgive my surprise. Barnabas, well, you've known the old house to be empty for so long that it's difficult to imagine anyone living there. Victoria says, I had no idea you'd go this far. Now the clock chimes the first quarter of the hour. Barnabas was just showing up there at 7:30 and the clock chimed off. Now it's chiming off again for the first quarter of the hour. So it took him 45 minutes to ask Liz if he could live at the old house and for her to say she's going to get the keys and Victoria to come downstairs. Or they just had a normal length conversation and we had a commercial break. So was Victoria standing there holding that tray for the better part of 45 minutes and then she sets it down? Time doesn't always make sense on the show. Like you might not notice it when you're watching, but I'm like, wait, we just heard the clock chime and now it's, wait a minute. It's fun when you notice that stuff because it doesn't make sense. But the clock chimes the first quarter of the hour, and Barnabas goes on to say that I may restore parts of the old house to its original condition. Victoria, won't it be expensive to put so much money into something you don't own? Barnabas, you cannot put a price on what I intend to do there. So just then Liz comes back from the kitchen door. She's got the old rusty keys. She doesn't, know what goes to what, but she hands them off to Barnabas, and Barnabas has a lot to do, so he takes off. Liz says, I don't think he'll stay there long. Victoria, I don't know. I feel that once he moves in, he'll never move out. It's almost as though the house belongs to him, or he belongs to the house. I hope he does restore it. Oh, by the way, Willie's gone. And he apologized for everything he did. Liz says, yeah, he did seem rather defeated and without spirit. Illness does that to people. I think he'll go back to his old self. Victoria says, I think that change is permanent. So now we're in the old house. Barnabas walks into the foyer, sort of looks around at the drawing room there. Then he goes back to the doors that are still open. He says, where are you? What are you waiting for? Come in. And we see somebody walk up. Again, it's foggy outside, it's nighttime. But then they take a few more steps closer to us. And it's Willie. So that's who he's been hanging out with. So Willie walks inside. Barnabas tells him just close the door. So Willie turns around, closes the doors. Barnabas, this will be our home from now on. There will be much for you to do. So Willie's, all right. Barnabas, you don't sound very enthusiastic. What is it? Willie's just, nothing. Barnabas, good. It's time for you to go out. You know what you have to do. And Willie gets upset. He turns around. He's holding on to the banister like something's going to pull him out of there. He says, I can't. Barnabas walks up behind him. He says, you no longer have anything to say about what you do. Go. Now. Willie just lets go of the banisters, backs up, walks over to out the door. He just the way you would walk when you don't have a choice. And he heads on out. So that's a good place to end it off. I'm sorry I went over on time at my last show. I try to respect everybody's time by not going over with these so long, but it's okay. It worked out. Danny, oh no, Willie's a slave now. Art says, yeah, Willie is a slave for sure. Yeah, he's just, because, all we really knew was that the hand that reached out of that coffin had the same ring as Barnabas. And then what was Barnabas just doing, hanging out in Eagle Hill Cemetery at night when Jason left? And then, and Willie's clothes are gone, and Barnabas has to hang up his hat somewhere. So is that secret room just full of, like, a hat and Willie's clothes, but now they have a house they can live in. So what was happening? Like, Willie just shows up, gets bitten, nods out on the floor for a few hours, wakes up, goes back to Collinwood, is sick all day, and goes back, because that can't quite all be it, because what's up with all these dead animals all over town? How much blood is in a calf? How much blood does a vampire need to eat drink every day? It seems like can they eat on Monday and be okay till Wednesday if they have enough blood? I don't know. It's never come up anywhere. That's why I don't know. That's why I'm asking. So yeah, starts out really sexy. The last episode did, and then we get to it all comes together, like mystery solved. Why is Willie acting this way? Oh, he's hanging out with the new guy in town, Barnabas. Arden says, as a child, I thought there was a vampire sleeping in my tub, afraid to go in the bathroom. Just walk in there with the crucifix at night, and you'll be fine. Like, no, this isn't creepy. Just power of Christ. Don't watch me do stuff in the bathroom, you creeper. So yeah, we got some answers. Willie's got $500 in his pocket. but he also has to go out at night on food runs for Barnabas, which he doesn't like to do. So if that has anything to do with those animals in town getting their blood drained, at least Willie's a good enough person to feel bad about hurting animals, so he's not as twisted as David. He's got that going for him. Oh, and bye, all. Yeah, have a good night. Thanks for showing up. Smash the like button on the way out. That helps out the channel. And I'll check out the number of votes for the merch option you guys would prefer. It might be both. It might be one or the other. We'll see about getting that going. Next week, I don't know exactly where I'm going to be next week. I do want to go live doing something, no matter what, even if it's not Dark Shadows. I was thinking worst case scenario, if I can't do one of these, maybe I can just fire up Minecraft and be playing that and talking to you guys in the chat room the whole time. You guys can see my house. I've been doing stuff around there. But that's next week. I mean, no matter what, I do want to go live on a Saturday, no matter where I'm living at. I just don't know what it's going to be. I'd like it to be more Dark Shadows, but if not, I'll do something. I don't want to just not go live at all, because then what's the point of being alive if you're not going live? So yeah, thank you guys for showing up and being awesome and sexy and based and smashing the like button and participating in voting for a merch idea. Again, if you want to watch Dark Shadows, you can watch it on Tubi right now for free. Link in the description for the channel and for the show. And thank you for the Dandy again for that super chat. Again, that stuff goes directly to myself. Link in the description for the channel and for the show for that as well. That just all goes to myself. It helps out with the move. You're not paying for any fake content, just a real person in front of a real microphone talking about a real TV show. But yeah, I love you guys. You guys are the best. You guys make all of the bullshit worth it. So thank you guys for being here and being awesome. And yeah, have a good night, NT and John Rogers, and everybody's saying good night and thank you. But you guys are the best. Don't forget your pants on the way out. I'll see you guys in the chat room. And yeah, just taking it one day at a time. Take it easy. Love you guys again. Until next time.